Actually, we have so many laws, but they're not properly enforced. So it's almost that there is a lack of enforcement, and as organizations, as NGOs, we're trying to fix that lack of enforcement by continually pushing for better legislation and new laws. Whereas actually, it's far better to look at, well, how can we strengthen enforcement? Because if we actually properly enforce what's already there, in terms of legislation, then we can actually make work what we've already fought for so hard. 2 years ago we started this thing called the Citizen Inspector Network, and the idea was that people give 2 weeks a year, 4 days we train them up, you know, in the classroom, how to identify different ships and fishing nets and how to identify species in the fish market, and then for 10 days that go out on actual deployment. So you know, you would actually go out to, for example, Sicily or Morocco or Sweden, and we deploy you in the fishing ports, and you collect the evidence that we then present to prosecutors to drive prosecutions. And it's just proven to be an amazing way to involve citizens, to, you know, for people to be involved in an empowering way, without having to give up the whole life, and equally, yeah, you know, collect unique evidence, which is really the strongest position you can be in when you have proof of crime. The training is very much to give people a foundation level of all these different kind of fisheries issues. And then once you join an investigation, then on the first day we say, okay, well, right now you're here because we're looking specifically at drift nets, for example, or the illegal catching of cod. So on the one hand, it is the fact that people want to do a lot more than simply donate money, but often they have family commitments, they have a career, you know, that's the reality for most people. So the fact that you can offer something, really, after 4 days of training, we're only asking for 10 days in summer. That's pretty attractive to people. And I think secondly, you know, people are maybe increasingly sort of fed up with hearing about problems, and you know, we all know about the fact that the world is in a bad place in so many ways. The question is, well, what can I do about it? And of course, if you simply ask people to go to a Mediterranean fishing port and, you know, and walk around and take photos, I mean, it's a pretty, I guess, attractive thing to do, is to just be out there, you know, exposing this type of crime. Those hundreds of millions of euros we need to strengthen enforcement, you know, increased budgets, ships, aircraft, fishing inspectors, that's just not going to come. Like, there's just not the political momentum to make that happen. And I think we could spend the next decade or two campaigning to make that happen, and I think there'll be limited results, because it's simply, you know, fish and fisheries is just not high on the political agenda. Now, what I do see as having a concrete direct result is the fact that we, you know, appeal to people's existing skills and passions, and we get them to apply this in this field. So it's not just about training people as citizen inspectors, because if you're a diver or a sailor or an attorney or a you know, a private pilot or a cook or you know, a nurse, all these skills that you have and the things you probably feel confident to contribute, those are things you can actively apply in the field to help strengthen this enforcement. You know, it's almost like we are a neighborhood watch for the ocean.